Smith Rock Trail in Bend, Oregon. Watching Gold Rush too. Tuesday, November 19, 2024, 7:25 a.m. Just heading into the office. I ended up doing a lot of compliance stuff yesterday, transitioning, trying to get the CA number, which is the California Department of Transportation number. There's so many little things to unwind that are just, and that's where I have to go do the CHP audit in like February, March every year. So I don't want to do that. I don't want them calling me. I don't want to be the one that has to show up for the audit down in Ontario. So I completed, I think, the form. They're always made them cryptic too. I don't know why government forms have to be so confusing and they can't just make them simple, straightforward, easy. I think part of it is so they can gouge you with fees and penalties and stuff for non-compliance, or probably also to create jobs for people because it's so complex, just like the tax code, that just not a simple layperson could do it. Well, Monday became a Monday, and the preparation for the CHP audit that I wanted to do is pretty important. We could lose our trucking authority, get fined tens of thousands of dollars, and I need to be ready for it on Wednesday. Today's Monday. Flying down there tomorrow. Apparently our dispatcher here in Arizona decided to screw up our routes and not staff anything, and our driver, our warehouse person that came in over the weekend, left before the semi got here and didn't unload the trailer. The people in Ontario didn't load the trailer correctly, basically cut corners. So now the trailer's sitting here needing to get unloaded and reloaded, and we got nobody here because nobody staffed it. So I get to go out and do that. Otherwise, the trailer doesn't get sent. And so I've got to get the freight on and off it myself because nobody else is here to do it. So it's going to push back everything else that I've got to do. But that's kind of a recurring theme in your own business. But it happens a lot. And it's very frustrating. Now I'm, multiple layers away. I, want to do selling or grow the business. Well, that's like 6 layers up. Right now it's like, I want to prepare for an audit, which is due to drivers cutting corners and being incompetent and not doing well at the scales and getting us violations. So then you get the audit. In order to prepare for the audit, which is a result of them cutting corners, now I have to prioritize loading a trailer because dispatch cut the corners and the people that loaded the trailers cut the corners. So I have to go out and do it right. Love Mondays. There's always the surprise emails too. You can't ever tell if they're junk or not. But in transportation, there's all these different fees. And then you have all these little hacking companies that come along and try to make it look like, they're legit. But in this one, I figured it was. But this is a registration called a UCR registration, which is in addition to a DOT registration, and then your IRP plates, and then your fuel mileage reporting, or your IFTA if you're running a commercial. The UCR is if you're going interstate. So they're looking and saying, we audited Mr. Murr, your UCR. They sent it over, so I basically had to spend more time to explain to them. Actually, I did it correctly reported it in the right amount of trucks. They're basically trying to get us on anything that goes interstate, meaning our box trucks going state to state. Where we only have a few box trucks that go state to state, we send the semis. More time wasted on this, going through each VIN number that they asked about and answering it just for a bunch of compliance. I just don't have time for this stuff. Today is Tuesday, March 5th, 6:45 a.m. So yesterday was just demoralizing for a lot of people. Our Arizona dispatcher has just not done a good job. She always calls out on Monday. She called out on Monday. It's not a hard job. We believe she watches movies all day. That's what they've kind of caught her doing a few times on her phone, streaming movies onto her phone. And so she doesn't really do anything all day up until 5 o'clock, and then becomes a martyr, and then is scurrying around till 6:30. Oh, look how late I'm working, how hard. We had our Monday call outs of people, which is not abnormal. The case of the Monday food poisoning is a real big thing that happens, I guess, over Sunday night. So I don't know if we all need to watch out what we're eating and be more wary of food poisoning. That really seems to hit hard on Mondays from a Sunday, I guess. So I think we just gotta get rid of her. We give her so many chances. I don't know what else to do. It's when you work and don't work and watch movies all day and upset my customers that we worked years so hard to get. That can take years to get, and you can destroy in a couple bad decisions. We just don't have that luxury, and it's honestly, it's personal to me. It's a middle finger to me, and I'm done. So I'm just I don't want it. My problem is I can't burden the office because we're down the reception. Rachel's got her training. I had to get rid of HR and that whole mess that's in there. So, I've got the ad posted, but I have to have a plan or a strategy because I can't just throw that on people to navigate, because it's just going to put too much pressure on the rest of the staff. But the second part is trying to get this DOT audit, California bid inspection ready. And that's frustrating too, because again, I don't see how the trucks really are getting to the condition that's going to get us through it okay. I've been on them for 2 weeks now about getting this done. It's oriented towards the big company. The whole Department of Transportation, the California Highway Patrol, all this is to basically designed to favor big business. And I'll tell you why. There goes a check to the UCR, Unified Carrier Group, for $111 because their website wouldn't work. I had to spend an hour on that yesterday because they said we had more trucks that go interstate, but we don't, but I just have to pay it anyway because they could shut down my authority. And that's the big thing. So what happens is the Department of Transportation, they have these little, your pre-trip inspections, and it's in the name vehicle and driver safety and making it safer on the roads. Totally get that. Totally agree with that. But then it gets into the ticky-tack stuff. So, we got Frank, the moving he's just a driving violation, who is a self-anointed expert on DOT, is the one getting all the violations. We got violations for marker lights being out. Now, we had another smart driver in Sacramento hit the roof of the truck, and then it eventually peeled the whole roof of the box truck back. And so I had to replace the roof of the box truck. So that was expensive. And the marker lights are at the very top of the box. They're the little yellow lights. Guess 2 of the lights fell out. And that's where no one put that on a pre-trip. Nobody told us. I wouldn't have sent that truck. And so Frank didn't do it pre-trip, didn't mention anything about the marker lights from the roof being out, and drove to Fresno, went through a scale, and the DOT person just looks out their window. Oh, he doesn't have marker lights. Come on in, pull over into Bay 1. And then they really peel the onion. And so that's what happened. That's why I would not have obvious lights out. Again, what's the safety issue there? Is it, you're missing one light on the top left of your box. That's going to kill people. You're endangering. No, it doesn't do anything. There's no safety factor there whatsoever. I even would say if you never had that light installed there at the point, then it's not out. It couldn't be a violation. So it's the light being out. So if you had extra lights, you see those truckers that put all kinds of lights all over, all they're doing is creating a whole bunch of potential DOT violations because they say, that light's out, that light's out, that's light out. Well, am I supposed to have that light? Well, no, but it's out, so it's a violation. Check engine light. Okay, your check engine light came on. My Hino, the check engine light is perpetually on. Nobody can figure it out. The mechanics can't figure out nothing. It's a violation. The triangles in the little thing were broken, I guess one of them. I don't know how they define broken. How about not enough spare fuses? So that's another one too. All of these things, they get you on. And then it goes into, well, you need to do more with your driver compliance. Okay, so I need to hire a DOT person full-time now to oversee and micromanage the drivers to make sure they're completing the DOT things. And then the logs. Oh, you should have e-logs, not paper logs anymore, because you're driving outside 150 air miles. Okay, so then you got guys that are 95% of the time or 99% of the time driving around locally, and they're supposed to have an electronic log that's going to track everything they do locally, whereas if it's a paper log, you only do it when they go outside 150 air miles. Guess what's going to happen at the scales when they haven't even gone outside 150 air miles and they see their e-logs? Oh, you didn't take your brake at the right time. More violations. So how it favors the big companies is they can afford all these resources. They can weather the price points and say, oh yeah, I've got a whole staff of DOT compliance, and look at this. And then you notice how the UPS trucks go right by the scales. They've got the pre-pass and their numbers are in there, and they contribute to the account, the politicians, and they get all the support. It's the smaller mid-size that, we try to comply. The other side, I look at how many times you see a truck that looks like it's right out of Sanford and Son. How's that guy driving down the road? Not shut down. I don't get it. So if you make no effort to comply, you're good. And if you're a big business and comply and throw all the money at it, you're good. It's the small and mid-sized companies that have to find that fine line of somehow still be able to turn a profit under the pressures of the big companies cutting the prices, and then trying to staff and provide these services so you can't get squeezed out by the Department of Transportation completely. it's not easy. You know, it's things like this. This is why I'm the guy going down having to do this DOT audit. You know, if we're UPS, oh, they've got a staff. They could fly a team in and handle this, but nope, here it's me. I got to go through and figure it out and Google and read about it, try to understand it. I do use RenewAlert for that too. I put in all my notes from the last year, and then I have it on recurring, so every year it emails me a reminder on it, but I put in all my notes and thoughts and updated paperwork, and it emails me the reminders with all that data every year. So I'm not reinventing the wheel, because it's like there's so many different compliance things. The wastewater stormwater permit for the city of Ontario. Okay, so I got to do that every 2 years. Then the city license. It's just so much stuff. So I'm off to go waste some time doing this today. Pre-tip. Well, the inspection's coming up. Got the files here. It's taken hours. Up last night. She's here. We're heading back. Commencing CHP inspection. So there's her van. She comes in. Get a truck from a neighbor to hook up to a trailer so we could test the lights. We did that. This truck, that's the other one did too. We got the coveted sticker. That's what you need to top the scales. That's good for 90 days. So that bad boy's done. She's in there doing CHP work. But so far so good. Walk into the terminal. I always see people all different areas waiting at buses. There's shuttles that go up and down here. It's like they're waiting in line for a shuttle. And I mean, I'm probably walked 2/3 of the way. The terminal's over there, but it's like it's a quarter mile to the terminal. It's a good opportunity to walk. It's a nice morning. It's cold, but get some exercise. I remember I was at a ECS event. Shout out. And talked about, which I thought was really true, slow walkers. I want to hire people that are slow walkers. Lack of indecision, consideration, purpose. Something to think about. It's really evident in the airport. They wander aimlessly in the middle, lost. They cut their shuttle. There it is. Good thing there's a stop right there. It's going there, right?